We have another warning coming from Lord Jacob Rothschild. He has been doing this for the past 3 years, steadily making these comments, and this just adds more fuel to the fire. It has some speculating that with these warnings coming from him, it may be the writing on the wall that there is a shift in the offing, or that we may already be in the beginning of it. Now, what he keeps speaking on is how everything globally has shifted to where it was dominant. It was at the top of a bull cycle for the past 10 years. And he says that many of the prices and everything, all the levels are shifting. And this is affecting the economic growth. Now, he says that the debt and what is happening in Europe is unprecedented. And I wonder why. It seems like many hands have controlled the whole thing to mold it, to get it into the position where it's at right now. You look at the US dollar. The US dollar, obviously not backed by gold, but being the world reserve currency. Now, he has made a majority of his fortune with this US dollar, his family has, for decades, going all the way back to when it was actually backed by gold to where they stopped backing it by gold. It still served as the world reserve currency to this day, but we have the Chinese yuan stepping up into the IMF basket, now challenging the US dollar. He is stating that the liquidity around the globe is dropping, that many of these other countries that was buying the debt of the US dollar is stopping, which is true. I've talked about this several times. I've talked about how Russia was dumping its treasuries en masse, how China was one of the countries buying the biggest amounts of US debt, and they stopped doing it at the levels where they were. So there is a shift happening, and he's also softly hinting at it over and over again, and this time saying that we're at the top, we're at the peak here of this bull cycle level, that you should expect things to shift from here. And what that means, what that entails, what is that going to mean for the dollar from here on out, the economy and everything else, we're just going to have to wait and see, play it by ear, and as things happen, try and roll with the punches, so to speak. But it's in my belief that this man, his family, and many of the other money masters around the globe know where this is going. This is why I've reported on individuals like DB Bank and others manipulating precious metals around the globe, getting caught, never going to jail, just getting fined and allowed to continue on with the same old song and dance. So they know what they're doing here. These are, from what I can see, just little hints dropped in the open that there will be a shift in the offing. Now, will that be a shift where they're not positioned, where they're not going to have any more control or power? I don't think so. I think that they could give a head fake, making it look like that, but there's no way in the world they're going to allow another power structure to roll in and not have their hands in that jar. So, for what it's worth, this is the latest in terms of the comments that he's made. Make sure to tune into Underground World News Live, 8 p.m. Eastern on Dabu 77. I'll discuss this in further detail and a whole lot more. Peace.